Hi, this is Dr. JACALYN KERBECK, the President, Founder, and Chief Listening Officer here at our network at USA Global TV and Radio. Thank you so much for your loyalty. Thank you so much to all of our guests, to our team members, to our sponsors, and to all of our elevated listeners. Here at USA Global TV and Radio, we provide world-class education, entertainment, hope, and inspiration. We celebrate all of our team members, all of our guests, and all of our sponsors from around the world who come and lead their lives with their hearts to help other people walk into their greatness. If you'd like to be a guest on any of our shows, please go over to our website, usaglobaltv.com, and book your session. Please contact us at info@usaglobaltv.com and subscribe to our channel. Hello, everyone. Happy Friday or happy Saturday, wherever you are in the world. This is USA Global TV and Radio. I'm Dr. JACALYN KERBECK, and our show today is the power of etiquette and manners. My co-host, Mr. Philip Sykes, has the day off. Our topic today is relationships and finding love with expert Felicia K. This is such an important topic, and we're going to find out what this has to do with etiquette and manners. It's all wrapped in together: kindness, integrity, honesty, leading with your heart. So let's welcome the luxury love diva, Felicia K, joining us. Hello.
Hello. So nice to be here. Thank you for having me, Dr. JACALYN.
Thank you. And I love the pink. I really do. You look beautiful. You look so fresh and energetic. We have a show on right after this, fashion, travel, and fitness. And our guest last week and this week was wearing pink, and it will be probably. And I'm in black, dreary. And
I love it. You look amazing.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. So I'm so glad that you're back. And you also have a special episode that's coming up. It is February the 8th, I believe, at 1 p.m., which is 6 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time. So we're looking forward to that as well. Before we get into our topic about relationships and finding love, tell us how you started on this journey as the luxury love diva.
Well, by trade, I am a cosmetic chemist, so and perfumer, and so I love beauty. But I will say, and that takes me back about 25 years, but I will say that I have been in the love space for over 20 years. And that's just pretty much intrigued me. I've always loved love. I would play matchmaker for my friends and family. And I would also be asked love advice on a regular basis: how I met my husband, various things. And I've always been really, really good about just finding the sweet spot with two people. When I see a connection, I usually speak to it, and I'm usually pretty accurate. So I decided to turn this passion of mine and this actual gift that I have into a high-level life and relationship coach and strategist.
Wow, that's so interesting and fantastic. And it is a journey. I was thinking, I don't know that honestly that I've ever felt like somebody really loved me in terms of a romantic relationship. And I think for me, I'm somewhat jaded. I hate to say that, but maybe you can break my heart back open again. So when we think about relationships and finding love, I know women, for example, who would sit at a bar night after night waiting for somebody to come in. They go to the gym all dolled up with their makeup and their jewelry. It's kind of like, will you really be able to lift the weight with that? But do you feel that it's more of a when the time is right that someone will come into your life? Or do you feel that we need to be on a mission to find someone?
Well, you know what? This is one of the things that I believe this is so important. Attracting what we desire and deserve is an inside job. And it really begins with us. And so, for example, in my case, I was married for 17 years and we grew apart. We grew apart. There was an age difference. There were different variables, but I was not very happy for a long time, but I made the decision to divorce because my relationship was no longer healthy. But what I will say is this: I really had to think about what it was that I needed for myself if I were to ever marry again, what that partner would look like. And so I kind of started to love myself. And like I said, that's an inside job. So I started to really value myself and decide that anyone that comes into my life or that I will attract into my life will have these core values that I believe I need for me. And I will say, for me, it worked. I attracted the man, not of my dreams, but in my dreams, the partner that I manifested in my mind. He'd be a man of faith, not necessarily religious, but spiritual, financially healthy, various nurturing kind. He would support me as a businesswoman, whereas my ex-husband did not do that. So there were these various attributes. And I will tell you, within 24 months, I attracted the type of person that I dreamt about and really thought about at the core level. So I really think it's about having an open mind, an open heart, but really focusing on ourselves first and loving ourselves.
I absolutely love that. And congratulations on manifesting what you desire and finding happiness. That's really beautiful.
Yeah.
I know we're going to talk a little bit about self care. And I feel like since I got divorced a very long time ago, I've had an amazing opportunity to create this space that we're on today and write books and write songs and all kinds of things that I don't know that I would have had time for if I was in a committed relationship with someone. So, how do we actually balance that self love, self care, and giving our partner what they need as well?
Balancing that self love and self care is very important. And I believe that communicating, if you are in a relationship, communicating that with your partner and being consistent in that, taking that self care, do not be in a relationship with someone and not be authentic. Because if, if you, if you're in a relationship with someone and you're not practicing self care, but that is something that you typically have done before meeting them, and it changes, it doesn't show consistency. So you want to show up exactly as you are. And so I feel like if you are in a relationship, that self care is important. So you should communicate that to your partner, but also find the balance in doing things together and spending time together. Being an individual is very important, but then also having a balanced partnership is important as well. And if you are a single person who is looking to attract, or eventually you do attract a partner or someone who's interested, be consistent, be upfront, be clear. That's so important because oftentimes people will meet and then they try to change your behavior. And a willing participant in modifying their behavior, if you get into a relationship and you change your behavior, then you're actually not being authentic to yourself and you're not practicing that self-care. You are becoming someone else. So I just think consistency is key.
Yes, I agree with you on that. And
Yeah.
something I'd like to talk about, I think it really falls under etiquette and manners as well, is being our authentic selves and showing up who we are. When do we actually open the closet of skeletons to let the other person know that, hey, I may look and seem great, but I have lived a life that, a journey that everything wasn't always perfect. Because sometimes you'll see people, you hear stories, or you've experienced it yourself, where you're just meeting someone for the first time and they give you all the reasons why you shouldn't like them. I don't know if it's a test or if it's just not a great move. What are your thoughts, Felicia?
I believe that that is not proper etiquette to go right into the what you consider a problem, or what you consider your flaws. I believe a big part of etiquette is confidence. I think you should be confident in exactly who you are, and I think there's a proper way to bring up these um, attributes. I think, or just these things that you consider personal flaws. In my opinion, I would say keep those to yourself. I don't know that that is something that you need to bring up on a first date. Not at all. But I think that as you get to know someone, I think it should be a back and forth. I think it should be um, asking questions. And and just kind of allowing it to be a engaging conversation, learn a little bit about them. So for example, if you're a person who just doesn't like a certain type of food, maybe you don't like, spicy food or whatever, you may want to just have that conversation, and instead of saying, well, every time I have spicy food, I don't know, you say something inappropriate. I don't know. Every time I have spicy food, I just turn into this or that. That's kind of going leaning in on a negative side. I just think it's just important that if there's some little quirks that we have, that we're just upfront with the people that we are attempting to meet or get to know. Just make it more conversational, and there might be some humor, and you may even find that there are some similarities as well. But I would say be confident, secure, and just be honest, be open, be transparent, but don't hit them all at once.
I'm really tracking with everything you're saying, because I remember when I was pursuing a relationship, now I'm married to my work, which I love anyway. But when I would tell every possible thing that I didn't like about myself to push the person away. And I realized as I got older that it was really a lack of confidence. And I felt like if I told them this, that, and the other, that if they really cared and wanted to get to know me, they would stick around. But I always attracted the wrong people. So I've learned a lot in my journey. And I know that you're really an expert also when it comes to helping people understand their love languages. So can you talk a little bit about what are love languages?
Well, so the love languages are it's to help couples understand how to express themselves and receive love in a relationship. And so it outlines 5 general ways that romantic partners can show their love for each other. And so, for example, there's 5 words of affirmation: quality time, receiving gifts, acts of service, and physical touch. And those are relatively surface, so you can go a lot deeper. So, for example, I know my husband, my current husband, bless his heart, he's so sweet. He is the physical touch person. And I know for me, I'm active service. So, for my husband, physical touch for him is he likes a hug, he likes a kiss, he likes, PDA, public displays of affection, and that's all fine, and I don't mind those things as well. But for me, the way I receive love is I like you to take action, do what you say you're going to do, do things around the house that need to be done. And so we have this joke. He'll say, I'll say, "What's your love language?" And he'll say, "Hug me." And then he'll say, "What's yours?" I'll say, "Take out the trash." So, it's so important to kind of know where you are in that love language space, because if you're not communicating these things with your partner, and if you don't quite know what it is that you need in a relationship, there can be an imbalance. And so a person who likes quality time may get annoyed with their partner for always being gone or working all the time or just not being home. But that partner might decide that they don't want to spend quality time with you because you are consistently nagging, asking them to do something, or you're nagging and you're not saying, or what they feel is nagging, you don't affirm for them that they've done a good job, you appreciate them. So, with that being said, it could be that your love language is quality time, your partner's love language is affirmations, and you know they're missing something, you're missing something, but you're not communicating that together, and so there's a disconnect. And so I think that learning your love language, it's a great way to communicate with your partner. I really would prefer if you do more things around the house. And then maybe in your partner's case, well, you know what? I would prefer if you tell me every once in a while that I'm doing a good job. That communication can really change relationships in a healthy way.
Yes, absolutely. And I'm reminded of this scene from a movie. Of course, I can't think of the title, but it's Jennifer Aniston and Vince Vaughn. And Jennifer Aniston asks Vince to go buy some lemons that she wants to use in this vase for this dinner party. And he goes and gets them. And she wants him to be excited about going to get them. He's like, "No, I'm not excited, but I did what you asked me to do." And I know myself, I've really bashed some heads verbally because I wanted somebody to be excited about what I asked them to do. When you talk about taking out the trash, for example, how do we how do we realize our own dysfunctional behavior so that we can appreciate the other person's love language?
I believe it's being self-reflective. I think that we need to check ourselves, like do those self check-ins and how am I showing up in this relationship? Let's be, and I love this about you, Dr. Jacqueline, an active listener. That is so important. And I will tell you that's like the number one thing to create deeper connections in relationships is the active listening. So the most important thing is when you be open to listening, when your partner is sharing something with you that they need, listen, take it in. And even if it's not something that you want to do or you want to participate in, you have to say, how can I find a balance and give them what they need, support them, um, and actually do that. Where can I maybe meet them in the middle? Where can I make adjustments? And then likely they'll do the same for you.
Yes, that's brilliant. A question I have for you, because you shared that you experienced this, I shared that I experienced it. We both have gotten divorced. So at some
Mhm.
point, you're doing all these things, but it's just not working. When is that point in your experience and coaching with your clients that you say, we did the best we could, but it's time to say goodbye for now?
It's okay. I'm not. I'm not a counselor, but I will say this. I will add a little humor here because I'm going to say what I love about my clients is that for me, I have this experience on all the sides. Like I have the experience of divorce, so I know what that looks like. I have the experience of being single, all of these various things. But I will say this, and I will use myself as an example. I'm going to start by saying don't stay too long. And I don't like to say that, but when you are a particular age, you don't we don't have time to waste. And my clients are typically over 40, so they're either married or they have been married, and or remarried or single and happy or looking. And when they are looking, they are looking for what they know what they don't want, right? So I was married 17 years, but I knew that I was not in the right marriage 2 years in. So after 7 years, I was separated for three in after the 7 years, and then we got back together. And I knew right then and there it didn't work, but I stayed 3 more years. And you have to get to a place where you say, if this does not serve me at the core level, I'm not happy. You have to make that decision to move on, but try to do it as amicably as possible. Um, but yes, I would definitely not. I would change course for sure. Have that conversation and move on. It's unfortunately that that's my take.
No, I think that's right on. That's brilliant. I knew when I was walking down the aisle, I was doing the wrong thing, but because of all the time and money and everything that was spent, I thought, well, I'll just give it a shot. But we waste time. And I think what you're talking about today is, and by the way, you have a huge following on social media. Congratulations for all the people who are following you. I love that. I think that we don't have a lot of time to waste. So if we understand ourselves, if we take the time to do the work, and that's where I think people get tripped up. Somebody I know and love very much always talks about this magic wand. There is no magic wand. We have to do the work. And when we do our work on ourselves, it's that saying that people have, I'm looking for my other half. No, you want a whole. You're a whole, they're a whole. We want two holes. What do you think about that, Felicia?
Oh, I love that. They do. There's this thing is relationships should be 50-50. No, they should be 100-100. Two active participants. We are individuals, but I do feel like that when you have two whole people, you have a whole relationship, but that also takes work. And again, attracting who we desire and deserve is an inside job, and it does start with us. And a lot of my clients that I coach are looking for love, but one of the ways that I need to work with them is on the inside. They're very professional women, high achieving women. Some are very, very well to do, And so they aren't necessarily looking for partners who are people who can financially take care of them, but they are looking for people who are financially secure and that will support them in their business and the fact that they are professional women. But it's interesting that the mindset sometimes of some of the women that come to me is they want a 10, but they're showing up as a 2, if you
Mm,
understand what I'm saying. They're showing
yes.
up as yeah, they have this huge checklist. He should be this, 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 look, this, this. And when I say that too, I'm not speaking about appearance. These are beautiful people. And I have male clients as well. Same thing. Beautiful, attractive, well-to-do, financially fit, educated, all of those great things. But there's maybe some glass half empty instead of glass half full, pessimist instead of optimist. So I try to work with people on finding the balance from within so that they can show up better as better people for themselves and better partners.
That's really insightful, Felicia, because we want something of someone else, but we're not showing up in the best version of ourselves. By the way, we have a comment from somebody on Facebook, Orchids Roy Campbell, loving your pink top.
Oh, thank you.
Thanks for your comment and thanks for watching. So when you're working with your clients, does that ever come up as a topic of how to dress, how to take care of yourself, whether it's nutrition wise or health wise? It's sort of like a whole package of how you're showing up, isn't it?
Absolutely. So that kind of goes back to that self-care. I do encourage people to eat healthy, get a great night's sleep and things like that. But when it comes to appearance, I feel like it's important to be comfortable and confident in what it is that you are wearing. Um, and I really like people to think about not reinventing themselves, but reimagining themselves. And so we do a lot of journaling and we do a lot of, just kind of listing if your ideal self looks like this physically, mentally, emotionally, and all of those things. And so most people are like, well, I would love to change my self image a little bit. I want to be more confident. So I would suggest go out, try on outfits that you've not worn before that you don't typically wear, and if you feel good, buy yourself something new, if nothing else, once a month, because that allows you to sort of incorporate things into your wardrobe that you would not normally wear, but then you're kind of feeling new and refreshed, kind of like that alter ego that's inside but we suppress. I did that for myself. I was in corporate America for a period of time, and I was just so stuffy um, and I was never comfortable. But I tell you what, just in this space that I'm in now, I am authentically me. I love to be elegant, classy. I'm the luxury love diva, so you'll often see me with heart earrings. And so I wear things that I feel good in, and so that would be my suggestion to other ladies and my clients as well.
Great advice. I love it. And I love those earrings too. They're really
Thank
pretty.
you.
Yeah. So you have done something that's really important. You've branded yourself so that you stand out from other people. And I think that's really important for our audience who's either watching or listening is knowing who you are, knowing what you want, and knowing your love language, and realizing when you need help that you need to contact Felicia because she's worked with so many people and obviously evident from your huge following on all the platforms. So I'd love to explore a little bit. We do have the link for the quiz, by the way. I want to get back to that. But I'd love to explore for people who are watching or listening and thinking, I do need some help. What does that engagement process with you look like?
They can come directly to my website, FeliciaK.com, and fill out a contact form to work with me. I would schedule a strategy session or at least more of an introductory session. I do have strategy sessions. Those are people who want, for example, that laser coaching, but it's really like something where you just kind of like do a deep dive. And so there's a full on questionnaire that they fill out, and then we deep dive right in. It's like a 1 hour of full on laser coaching strategy, and then they go out and take that information and apply it into their life.
You made it so easy for people to work with you. So we have all of your links. We're showing them now, and they're also in the comments. Felicia, what I'm also wondering is when we start to really, I want to say, awaken, when we look at who we've been and where we've gone. You talked about corporate. I was in corporate. And maybe when we
Mhm.
were in corporate, it felt okay, but it wasn't perfect. And then we step into our glory doing what we're doing now. We want that for other people as well. And so we talked about the work that has to be put in. It's also where you see yourself going, where you see yourself when you get to where you want to go, and taking those steps to get there. And taking one of those steps is working with you, because you have been there. You already shared divorced, single, married. You understand the whole picture. And I think for people out there who are still thinking, yes, but I can't, I'm afraid, how do they overcome that fear of making change?
Well, it goes kind of back to the etiquette piece, just having that self-confidence, building that self-confidence, really thinking about the mindset. Um, I again, we attract what we deserve and desire based on how we are feeling. And so really just moving past those limiting beliefs that tell us that we cannot achieve something, um, and then practicing that the self affirmations that I can do this, I can absolutely do this. So it starts there with just this belief in what's possible. And then once you sort of get into that space of believing what's possible for yourself, you're more likely to be open to that change. It comes a little bit more naturally. But if you're not confident and you are stuck in those limiting beliefs by whether a parent or the ex-spouse, friends, family have told you, well, you can't really do that, then it's going to be a lot more difficult. So that's something I will say with my clients. I screen for that. That's a question. Do you have any limiting beliefs? What are they? I try to help people move past that first, so then I can decide if they're a good fit, because not everyone is coachable, if that makes sense.
Absolutely. I agree with you. It's the same kind of thing here when I'm looking at bringing on new team members. Are they coachable? Are they open? And I do want to mention that you are one of our team members here at USA Global TV and Radio. You're one of our elevated listeners. I love that. And you came to us through the British School of Excellence. And if we look at everything together, etiquette and manners, and dating, for example, I think it's also important that you show up with integrity, you show up as yourself, as you had mentioned, and you give the other person grace, even if they're not a good fit for you. This has happened to me. It's happened to other people. I know other people I know have done this, where you show up for the date and the person literally just puts you down. You don't look like you did in your pictures. You blah blah blah. I think we should show up with grace and integrity and give a person a chance. What do you think?
Absolutely, show up with grace, integrity, give a person a chance, but also understand if you know they're not for you. Finish the date out for sure, but you casually move in a new direction. Don't go on a second or third date when you really just aren't. If the chemistry isn't there and there's just not a full on connection, I would not force anything, but I definitely feel like you should be comfortable, confident, kind. That's very important. And present.
Present, so important. I've
Yes,
seen people on dates, you can tell they're on first dates, they're both on their phone, they're not even speaking to each other. They're texting somebody like, why am I with this guy, or why am I with this girl, whatever the case
absolutely.
is. But you mentioned a really key word. The word is chemistry. And I've heard all kinds of thoughts around this, that if you don't have that instantaneous chemistry with somebody in 5 minutes and you just want to, hey, let's get out of here, that you shouldn't continue on dating with them. Do you think that chemistry can evolve over time?
I believe chemistry can evolve over time for sure. That's one of the first things I look for, though, is chemistry. When on my first date with my now husband, he was shy. I'm not. I've been through too much. I'm just confident. So but there was something about him that I really thought was endearing. And chemistry can show up in several ways. It's just you may be physically attracted to someone, but I was emotionally attracted to my partner. But you can be emotionally attracted to someone on a date. You can be intrigued. You can find chemistry because they're funny. They make you laugh. So whatever that is inside that gives you the spark. I think pay attention to that because you may not be physically attracted right away, but there may be something else there. And so I would say pay attention to that. That's where it's important, as you say, give the other person a chance. Um, and just see where it goes. At least have that conversation on the first date and just kind of look for things. Look for something that's workable. And if there's nothing at all, then maybe you don't need a second date.
Again, what you brought up is so key is time.
Yes,
Time is not something that we have a lot of. And I know people right now who they feel trapped in relationships, whether it's because of the kids or the money, or because they haven't been out in the work world and they don't feel like they have the experience or the confidence. But these are all limiting beliefs, aren't they?
absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. We have the link for the quiz. I'd love for you to share a little bit more with the audience about them taking the quiz, about the types of results they could get, and then how that information can be something that they share with you for you to take them to the next level of finding love.
Okay, so they can take the quiz. That would be the first step. Go to if you have the link, go to the link. It's about 5 minutes. And a lot of people will show up in two areas. So, for example, I'm acts of service, but I also like the quality time piece. I don't need someone directly and with me all the time, but I know that when we are together, I like to be connected. So when people take the quiz and they get the results will reveal what area they fall in. It's a great quiz. It's short, and when they bring those results to me, it helps me coach them into what they need and sort of draw out a little bit more from the results, what it is that they might need. So if someone says, I showed up as quality time, so then I'll dive a little bit deeper like, okay, so for quality time, does that mean you need your partner with you 24 hours a day? How much quality time do you need? What does quality time look like for you? Is it taking trips? Is it having dinner together, taking a walk in the park? Because quality time means different things to different people. So I dive a little bit deeper, and then we create a plan based on that, and we kind of incorporate that into our coaching space and how we're going to go about finding love and how you're going to communicate that with your respective partner that you currently have or someone that you may meet in the future.
Thank you so much. I mentioned this to you backstage that I've taken it before, but I don't remember what my answers were. But what I'd be interested to see is as I've grown as a person, as I've changed careers, as I've done more self-reflection, if my love language has changed. So I'm going to look into that and take that quiz. But what would your thoughts be as we grow and learn and awaken? Do you think our language changed?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because let's say a person in their 20s, they were they didn't know themselves fully. You're a different person in your 20s than you are in your 40s, for example. So they may have been a person who was not necessarily nurtured, and so as a child, and so they find themselves needing that physical touch, hand holding, and all of that. And as they become confident women or men, career oriented, and things like that, that sort of maybe they move into the space of the affirmation. They move into the space of acts of service. It depends. So, for example, you can be in your early years a physical touch person, but let's say you go to the military, your mindset has changed. So you are a person who is more about a like team. So you want to see that a person will be reliable. They will do what you ask them to do. They will show up. They'll be accountable. So absolutely, your love language can certainly change over time.
All right, I appreciate that. We have a question about the link from Orchid's Roy Campbell. We are actually showing the quiz link on the screen now, but I'm going to read it out in case people are not able to read or they're on the radio or podcast. And correct me if I'm making any, if I'm saying anything incorrect. It is five, the number five, the word love, and then the word languages all together, 5lovelanguages.com/quizzes. That's QUIZZES / two words with a hyphen in between, love hyphen language, LANGUAGE.
That is correct. They can also go to fivelovelanguages.com. Okay, if they just simply go there, it will take you to the website. You'll also, it's interesting because you'll see the love language quiz, but you will also see, and this is a whole nother topic, apology language. There will be various quizzes that they will find. I would definitely start with love language for adults because they also have love languages for children. Because as you mentioned, our love languages can change. Um, so there's also the apology language. That's a whole nother topic. But yes, that
And
would be.
that's a really important one. We have to have you back to discuss that. And also the fact that you mentioned about children. I know myself, I'm in the process of writing children's books about listening skills. So we want to make sure that our young people are brought up with etiquette and manners as well. Felicia, I'd love for you to share with our audience who's maybe not familiar with the British School of Excellence or Philip Sykes, and he's not here today, but what has your experience been with them?
One of the things I know, I can't say enough about the British School of Excellence. Through the British School of Excellence, I have learned to be more confident and not just in appearance and verbally, but just in social settings, networking events, various settings that I find myself in, eye contact, all of those various things, the active listening piece. One of the other things that I've taken away is emotional intelligence. That is so important because oftentimes people, we really are reactive when it comes to how we believe people perceive us, what they say to us. So through the British School of Excellence, I've learned about emotional intelligence and how to use that. It's about not about what people say or what you believe they think. It's about how we respond to it. And so that's been a very, very interesting takeaway. Dining etiquette. That's amazing. I think that when we're, especially in the space of dating, if you're going to a fancy restaurant, because sometimes your dates go, they start at a nice, elegant restaurant. You want to know the proper etiquette with regards to silverware placement, dining etiquette, where which wine glass goes for what, white, red, where your water goes. It's just really amazing how to hold your knife and fork because you want to show up not just elegant, you want to also be classy.
Absolutely. I remember a first date. I was picked up in a limousine and I wasn't told where we were going. We went to this beautiful country club and there was nobody else there, just us. So, of course, I was impressed, but that was a long time ago. And a question that comes to mind when we think about etiquette and manners, we think about finding love in relationships. I know back when I was dating a long time ago, I would expect the guy to pay the bill. And I don't know if that's still the case today. How does a person handle that?
I will say it depends on the age. I believe proper etiquette is whoever asks you on the date should pay. And typically it's the gentleman. But in this space, as more professional women are out dating, they're okay to pay. I just I still believe that the man should offer. The woman can offer to split. And a lot of times, there's been a time where I've actually offered to pay on a first date, and the gentleman says, I appreciate the offer, but please allow me. Like they don't want that as a takeaway. So I would definitely say allow the man to pay.
Thanks a lot. I know in some cases when I knew it wasn't going anywhere, I would offer to split or to pay the bill because I knew I wasn't going to be seeing the person again. But a true gentleman usually doesn't accept, your money. So that's just been my
Absolutely.
experience. So we have
Yeah.
another comment. Let's see what we have down here. Okay, from our friend Orchids Roy Campbell. True, whoever asks will pay, but on the next date you offer to pay or split 50-50. Would you like to comment on that?
Oh, I think that's absolutely fine. I think there's never anything wrong with an offer. I think that's absolutely correct. Absolutely. Because even when you offer, the other person, whoever it is, male or female, may say, "No, let me get it," because I've done that. I do that with my husband now. I'm like, I'm gonna buy you dinner tonight. But again, we know each other. But I do. I think there's nothing wrong with the offer. I think that's kind.
I do
Even on
too.
the
I
second
agree.
date. Absolutely.
I agree. Thank you so much for commenting, and we appreciate you. So, Felicia, as we come to the end of our show, I want to share the show tile for the special event that you're going to be doing. Tell us a little bit about this Lessons in Love, Deepen Your Connections, and Build Better Relationships, hosted by Philip Sykes with special guest Felicia K.
Oh, I'm very excited about this. So, right. So, we're going to be talking about how to deepen our connections. And I am a science based love coach. And so, um, science and research really talks about that healthy relationships play a major role in both our physical and emotional well-being. So we're going to talk a little bit about that and just sort of what studies show. They show that people in healthy relationships are more likely to have deeper connections because they talk about communication being something that is very, very important, increased commitment, higher levels of trust. All of these things play a role. And so we're going to be discussing how to have deeper connections in relationships. And so I'm looking forward to that.
I'm looking forward to that as well. I'll be producing the show and backstage. So you'll be able to see it right here on USA Global TV and radio. And you'll also be able to see it on the British School of Excellence on their YouTube channel and their Facebook page. So do join us for that. Felicia, we have your different ways of people connecting with you, but I'd love for you to just share with people who are, again, not able to read what the information is.
Okay. The first step is you can certainly find me at FeliciaK.com, which is my first and last name, Felicia, FELISHAKAY.com, on social media, both Instagram and Facebook at Luxury Love Diva, and also on TikTok at Luxury Love Diva.
Fantastic. All right, there we go, folks. There is all the information of how to reach out to Felicia, and please do. And please do join her and Philip Sykes in the British School of Excellence here on February the 8th. I look forward to that and learning more from you and taking that quiz and seeing where I stand right now. So I'm sure Felicia would love to hear from you. If you take the quiz, reach out to her and let her know about your results, and who knows where you can go from there.
Absolutely.
Fantastic. Thank you again for being here, Felicia, Luxury Love Diva at the Luxury Love Academy.
Thank you so much for having me, Dr. Jacqueline.
Absolute pleasure. See you again soon. Bye.
Bye bye.
And thank you to Philip Sykes and to Leanne at the British School of Excellence. We really appreciate you greatly. We have a great relationship and partnership. And I just want to announce, if you're not aware, we have a series of children's books. Our third one is coming out, and Philip Sykes and Leanne are actually on this book cover. Can you guess which animals they are? All of our elevated listeners have an opportunity to be a part of our children's book series to teach children how to learn to listen at an elevated level. So our third book is coming out March 26th this year when I turn 60. That's scary. The book is called Lady Ella Has Afternoon Tea in London. And we have a giraffe, we've got a cat, we've got a dog, we've got a royal swan, and we've got oh my gosh, I can't think of the name, honey badger with us. So Philip is actually the giraffe named Gerard, and the cat is Mimi. That's the cat's name, Mimi, and that's Leanne. The dog is a corgi named Britannia, and that's Alcini. And then the swan is a royal swan named Princess. That's Caroline Heward. And the honey badger is Justin Merigliani. And I forget the honey badger's name. I'm sorry, Justin, will come to me. So anyway, I just wanted to share that because Philip is actually the consultant on the book about how to have afternoon tea in London. So the animals will be at a tea party, but they won't be doing everything they're supposed to be doing because they're not listening. So you can look for that book in March. And we have our other two books that are out. This show tile is dated, but both of these books are Amazon #1 new releases. The one on the left, The Amazing Adventures of Lady Ella, the Listening Mentor, that's the book series name. And of course, all the animals that are featured there are also real people, elevated listeners. I am the ladybug, and my name is Lady Ella, and I am dedicating all these books to my great niece, whose name is Ella. She's 1 year, 1 year of age right now. And the second book, this just came out on the 14th, Lady Ella's ABCs of Listening at the School of Joy, and all of the animal characters represent real people. So I'd like to end off with a music video. This music video is in alignment with the second book, The ABCs of Listening. We actually have a poem and a song in the book. And the song is called, and the poem is called Listening Lazies. Let's take a look at this. This is actually available. You can download it off of Apple, off of Amazon, Spotify, all of the major music distribution channels. Let's take a look at Listening Lazies, and we'll be closing out for today. Thank you.
When we speak, we don't hear. It's abundantly clear. Listening lazy creeping, and nobody's gonna win. Look someone in the eye. If you don't, they surely will cry. You don't hear a word I say, 'cause you always look straight away. Listening lazies drive people crazy. Listening lazies making us blue. Listening lazies, communication goes hazy. Listening lazies, listening lazies. Da 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 da. Listening lazies drive people crazy. Listening lazies making us blue. Listening lazies, communication goes hazy. Listening lazies, listening lazies. When you interrupt your friend, you will surely have to make amends. Lady Ella knows the way to help you listen better every day. And what's that?
It's listening lazy.
Ba-da-ba-ba. Listening lazies drive people crazy. Listening lazies making us blue. Listening lazies, communication goes hazy. Listening lazies, listening lazies. Listening lazies drive people crazy. Listening lazies making us blue. Listening lazies, communication goes hazy. Listening lazies, listening lazies, listening lazies.
And here's the CD cover, if you will. This is what to look for if you decide to go and download it on your device. So thank you again. Last message I want to give is that if you don't know, I'm also a certified life, career, and executive coach. And obviously I'm the founder of this platform. And I am training people, coaching people on how to be a professional interviewer. So we have a new course coming up. It's actually February the 7th at 3 p.m. Eastern time, which is 8 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time. If you're a podcaster, if you're a TV host, a co-host, a radio host, radio co-host, and you'd like to ramp up your skills, please do join me. It's open to everyone. You can find the event over on Eventbrite or on our website, usaglobaltv.com. Thank you so much for coming right back with our next show, which is fashion, travel, and fitness. Joining me will be Diane Floyd Bame and our special guest, Claire Chen, who joined us last week as well. We'll be talking about your personal branding. We're just discussing that with Felicia. We're also going to be talking about how to feel comfortable in your own skin. So we look forward to having you with us. Thank you to the British School of Excellence. Thank you to Philip, to Leanne, to Felicia, and thanks to each and every one of you for watching or listening. Goodbye for now.